Then their response was, "Oh, so Hana met the friend." One of the other master teachers, who we'll call Irene in this story, was a young teacher who started explaining to me how she had a third eye and has been knowing about the ghost in that classroom for a while now. From then onwards, whenever I had a shift with Irene, she would point out to me every time a kid would play in this certain area of the classroom and interact with an invisible being they would refer to as Emily. Irene told me she sometimes saw Emily in the classroom while we were playing outside in the yard with the kids. She described her to appear as a young girl with short blonde hair and polka dot pajamas. She said that she looked about the same age as our kids, and she would peek outside the window watching us play. This all didn't really make sense to me because the kids were happily playing with Emily in the classroom, but something else was making them cry in the bathroom. And when Eugene was talking to someone the other day, he referred to them as a he. Of course, this is an age where kids mix up their pronouns often, but why would Eugene say that Emily would be mad when I asked who he was talking to? So Irene and I became curious and started to do some digging into the history of the classroom. An older master teacher who worked at the preschool for decades gave us this picture album with class photos that were years old. While we were looking at the photos, some of the kids that were looking along with us suddenly pointed at one of the girls in the pictures and said, "That's Emily!" Irene also then confirmed that this was definitely the blonde, short-haired girl that she's been seeing. The weird part of this is that the master teacher who showed us this album and worked with this class directly told us that this gloomy girl in the picture who seemed to be separated from the rest of the class wasn't actually named Emily. Her name was Sarah, and Emily was actually a different girl in the photo. So at this point, we just felt even more confused and hopeless because the master teacher didn't have any other information on the two girls other than that they were good friends, and we couldn't exactly call up either of the girls' parents and be like, "Hi, did your child, die a few years ago? 'Cause, yeah, they're haunting our preschool." So we just had to continue on with our lives, never really knowing the truth on who Emily actually is, or how all these creepy events were tied together. A lot more creepy things happened, like musical toys going off during nap time, kids reporting a girl with yellow hair flying around, chairs moving, children's drawings falling off the wall, and kids whispering a full-on conversation to nobody during nap time. The list goes on. But in the end, I left that job not figuring out the complete truth. Irene suspects that it was Oliver and Olivia